Τον συναντήσαμε στο Ζάπιο, όπου βρέθηκε στην ημερίδα του Ινστιτούτου Πάνος Μυλωνάς, με αφορμή τη συμπλήρωση των 20 χρόνων αδιάλειπτης και πολυσήμαντης δράσης για την οδική ασφάλεια.
Mr. Vatanen, thank you very much for being with ERT tonight. As a former World Rally champion, how did your experience behind the wheel shape your understanding of road safety for everyday drivers like us?
I think I have come to realize how precious the life is. You know, my family been participated in funerals many times, nearly mine, 85, long time ago. So I love speed, of course. That has been the driving force in my life. But we need to preserve human life. Speed belongs to a racing circuit. It belongs to a competition. But speed and reckless driving on a public road, that's fatal. Can be fatal to you. Can be fatal to your oncoming people. So we need to respect the life and we need to respect the traffic rules. Yeah.
You referred to 1985. What happened in that moment?
That was a rally in Argentina. I had a very, nearly fatal accident and took a year and a half to recover. And then I went to Paris-Dakar rally and let's say like a second life started. So I realized how fragile the life is and how precious it is, having nearly lost it. So that's why we need to preserve it. And where can you have a fatal accident in normal life? Mainly on a road. So that's why we are not immortal and we must realize that yes, something really serious can happen to you or to your beloved ones. So we need to behave correctly.
You have been a very strong advocate for road safety in Europe during your tenure in the European Parliament. Now, where do you believe that current road safety policies fall short in Europe?
Well, Europe can be blamed for many things, but after all, Europe can only give guidelines. I mean, traffic safety, that's national competence. It really depends how the laws are. Laws are right, but are they implemented? Are they enforced? And that's where the real problem is. So let's look at the difference between, let's say, Sweden and Norway, Sweden and Greece. There are nearly 3 times more fatal accidents in Greece, compared to the same population. So obviously, we need to be honest and admit we have a big problem in Greece. So what are we going to do about it? Your road network is actually getting better very fast. I'm impressed. It's better here than in Finland. But we have to be, let's face the truth, people's behavior is unlawful very often. People, since there's no enforcement, people take law into their own hands and they drive too fast, they overtake where they want, and simply everybody has his own law. But it cannot work like that on a public road, so we need more, particularly law enforcement. And of course that will change the culture slowly. We can change the cultures, but it takes time.
So is it better roads, is it better cars, or is it better driver behavior?
Cars are relatively old in Greece, like in Finland, for that matter.
The average age is about 18 years old.
Something like that, exactly. But your road network is getting better. And of course we can improve that. But let's say in the given circumstances, what can really make the differences of behavior? So if people would obey the traffic rules, we would have nearly no accidents. Even yesterday when I came to the airport, to the city center, I was really happy to come back to Greece, really felt good and nostalgic. But how many dangerous situations I had. I saw pedestrians having to go backwards when they saw that the car yet he was on a pedestrian crossing. Cars would not slow down. I saw some very dangerous overtakings. Cars are parked all over the place. I saw police nowhere. So if people know that they are unpunished, if they have no consequences for their behavior, of course they will continue. So it's a sad thing to say, but we need more police action in Greece.
There's a conversation in the country that the speed limit inside the city will go to 30 kilometers per hour. Do Do you agree? Is that a level that can
How many kilometers?
30. 30. Is it feasible, do you think?
I think that sounds like going too far. Maybe it can be 30 kilometers an hour near the schools, or where you have very heavy pedestrian
I'm
movements.
not talking about highways, but I'm talking about roads that are inside the city.
But it depends what kind of place it is in the city. But let's put it this way: if the current speed limits are not respected, is it then does it make sense to lower the speed limit?
Right.
First, you have to enforce the current limits and make people to respect them. Because if we now lower the limit, because at the moment, problem is not with the speed limit. Problem is that the current speed limits are not respected. So let's tackle that problem first.
Mm-hmm. Do you think modern vehicles are sometimes too powerful or complex for average drivers, especially the young and inexperienced drivers?
I wouldn't agree, because technology has gone really progressed enormously. You have many safety features now in modern cars which not exist in the old cars. I mean, cars itself are getting safe. I mean, the active safety and the passive safety, and there's a big difference in the last 20 years.
Are we moving towards a more safer future, or do you think that we're creating new types of risks?
No, we are definitely moving towards a safer future. My friend Kostas Hatzidakis, who was at the same time in the European Parliament, he just confirmed that government will increase their spending and will increase the police activities. And of course, there has been a great progress in Greece recently, although too slow, but it will get in the years to come. But you need to keep on working on it. You know, that you cannot rest on the laurels. All the time we must say to ourselves, human life is in danger. It can be my daughter, it can be somebody I know. You know, it's a common shared responsibility.
And what is your view on automated speed enforcement and the surveillance? Can it improve safety, or does it infringe on drivers' rights?
No. Where's the priority? Priority is to save human lives. So no, definitely that is a very far-fetched excuse not to have automated speed surveillance. Wherever it has been installed, it has worked. It has worked because when the drivers are punished for the speeding and they pay heavily and they may lose their license, they will slow down, and that saves human lives. Because we cannot have a society where you have well, I'm a good driver, I'm called Vatanen or whoever, I can drive faster. No, in a democratic society, you need to bow and accept the rules for everybody, but they have to be enforced, and automatic radars, they are very effective. So let's hope you will have plenty of them in Greece.
As someone who has driven under extreme conditions in racing, what advice would you give to people who overestimate their abilities behind the wheel on the road?
That's a good point. That's a psychology of human being. I mean, great majority of drivers think that they are above average. Well, mathematically it's not possible. So we need a lot of humility. We need a lot of humility, and we need a culture change. I mean, drinking and driving was accepted till 20 years ago. Smoking was accepted everywhere. It's not accepted anymore. So cultures can be changed, but we need to start working on young ones, on the very young ones. I mean, even in Finland it happened first that when you educate young ones, they tell the parents, "Boy, Dad, now you did the bad overtaking, or you didn't put the seatbelt on." So we need to start culture change from young ones, but it can happen, but we must keep on working on it.
So if I were to ask you in the dilemma between stricter policies, penalties and police system, and focus in positive reinforcement and education, what do you choose?
We need all the tools from the toolbox, and of course, who wants to pay fines? But if you have infringed the existing laws, and if you have endangered public safety, the lives of yourself and your fellow human beings, you have to be punished. So we have to use all the tools we have available, and enforcement and fines, and sometimes even confiscating your vehicle is part of it.
And are there any regions or countries that are somehow setting a strong example in terms of road safety policies in Europe?
Well, we can see it because statistically it is proven. United Kingdom, and despite the heavy circulation, it's a very safe country, and Nordic countries are safe. Of course, unfortunately, Greece is one of the maybe third from on the bottom, and it's kind of a burden on a society that we just can't remain indifferent, but we have to keep on working on traffic safety.
And if I were to ask you if there was just one thing, one change that would have the most immediate impact on road safety, what would that be?
Well, what happened in France? What happened in France? There were literally no radars, and they had 20,000 deaths per year. 2004 they started really installing radars everywhere, and now they are down to 3,000. Of course, that is 3,000 deaths too many, because you can never say that the person who dies on the road dies for good reason. So the most cost efficient, the fastest way to save human lives on public roads, it is the enforcement of laws, which means police action and many more new radars.
Finally, do you miss racing yourself?
Driving, it's like a music. It's like a music. In a way, I hear the music in my ears all the time. So when I have a nice car, I have a close road or circuit where I can practice. I can drive sideways, like I go every year. I go to Lapland in Finland, and between the snow banks, I go. It's like that's music for me, and I think that I get younger each time when I drive a car.
So I understand that where you're driving, you don't take any risks like the ones you took while you were racing.
Yeah, there you have to make this distinction. When I'm on the road, I know how dangerous it can be. Maybe most of the drivers are in a way don't realize how suddenly, just in few seconds, one mistake, another mistake, and it can end up in a fatal accident. I'm aware of it, how kind of an invisible death is going either way of me. I'm not, and I'm just vulnerable than anybody else. So driving and be an actor in the traffic road, whether you're a pedestrian or driver in whatever role, you need a lot of humility and respect for life.
Ari Vatanen, thank you very much for being with the national television.
Thank you. Really an honor, and really, sincerely, I'm happy to be back in Greece.